I just can barely believe what I saw in the Colorado TCU game.
You know what you sound like? A non-believer.
Yeah.
And there's the door for the non-believers. I mean, I think what Deion did and what the Colorado Buffaloes did, and by the way, Dylan Edwards in that highlight, just one of 4 wide receivers from Colorado to tally over 100 yards receiving, including Travis Hunter, who we'll talk about, and Shedeur Sanders, who we'll talk about as the quarterback, wide receiver, cornerback, respectively. But if you're not a believer, I mean, there's the door. Like, it's the best story in sports right now. Whether you love it or whether you hate it, you cannot turn away from Colorado.
Well, wait. Let's parse our words here.
Yeah.
So by saying, I didn't say it wasn't the best story. By saying, do you believe it? Does that mean they're going to go 9-2? What does belief mean? Define this. Like, what is a reasonable expectation?
It means something different now after that upset of TCU.
Okay.
They go in as a 20-point underdog, and now I think believing it, I don't think Deion Sanders would say this. This is what I'm saying, Maggie Gray. I think that it means bowl eligible, playing in a bowl game, which would have been inconceivable just a few days ago. It's
a 4.5 win total, so it seems unlikely to get to 6 or 7. Now, here's the question, though. Are teams going to figure this out? Is this going to sustain itself? Listen, I was into it Saturday.
You asked me to get on the bandwagon.
I was totally into it. I wanted to get on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
But since then, the bandwagon's become such a fiery bandwagon. It's just too much. I can't handle the heat.
What do you mean you can't handle it?
People are so excited. I just don't understand, really. Like, are we talking now like an 8-4 season? Is that realistic? Because I saw the game on Saturday, and I'm like, I'm thinking 8-4 or something like that. Like, why isn't this team going to be really good this fast? Then another part of my brain is like, you just can't pull it together this fast, but it seems like Deion has.
You know, I think that it's true. It's something that we have not seen.
Yeah.
With 87 new players, unprecedented roster turnover, thanks in part to the transfer portal, and the fact that Deion really had, I think, 2 things. One, we knew about Travis Hunter. The two-way star played almost 130 snaps against TCU in the 100-degree Texas heat and looked spectacular on both sides of the ball. He becomes the first player in more than 20 years to have over 100 yards receiving and also record an interception in a game. He's amazing, but we knew that. Yeah. He could have gone to Florida State or every other team, FBS team that recruited him, but decided to go to Jackson State with Deion and go to an HBCU and then came with him to Colorado. Okay, we knew that he was going to be great. I did not know Shedeur Sanders was this good. He looked so polished. Now, TCU's defense was not amazing, even though they have some studs on defense, supposedly. 38 for 47, 510 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Shedeur Sanders looks polished and looks like a pro.
Okay, I disagree a little bit on Travis Hunter, and I agree Shedeur Sanders looks amazing. There's no doubt about it. Definitely a pro. The problem with Travis Hunter, we knew he was good, but we did not know what was coming on Saturday. How could you ever predict that? There's only one player who I've ever seen in history who's looked that good on both sides of the ball, and that's the coach.
Yeah.
You said, yes, we knew he was good. Did we know he was going to dominate the game from the cornerback position and then get 10 catches for over 100 yards? No, I mean, to me, that was an education watching him. It was unbelievable. I agree with you. Sanders was great, but the really, really special player is Travis Hunter, and I can't even put into words how special he was. I've never seen that. I described him as Shohei on Twitter. It's amazing. At cornerback, he's perfect. He knew what the quarterback was going to do on every play. And then a wide receiver, I mean, he was the best wide receiver on the team. I know Dylan Edwards had a big game. He was making spectacular catches. It's totally unprecedented. I can't believe it. That's why I have trouble believing it, Maggie. That's why I can't believe they can sustain this part of me.
Well, I mean, playing 130 snaps and doing it in that kind of heat, I mean, can Travis Hunter continue to play that amount of workload? Can he have that heavy workload and stay healthy and stay dominant? I mean, that's something that, quite frankly, only Deion would know, or someone who's played like that at a high level. So obviously he's in the best place for him. Stu, let's hear Deion talking about Travis Hunter. This was courtesy of the Pat McAfee Show.
That kid is straight different.
Yeah.
He is different. He's the first rounder. He's the first pick overall when it's his opportunity to go in the NFL draft. First pick overall on both sides of the ball.
Are they going to let him do both in the NFL, you think?
Well, only a fool won't let him do both because he's going to be the best player on either side.
You're so right about the Ohtani comparison, right? Because, and one thing Deion said in that interview is that in order to play on both sides of the ball like that, you have to be elite at one of them in order to play both. And so obviously Hunter's an elite corner, and then he's able to play wide receiver so spectacularly. Deion said if you're only good at both, it's not going to work. It's not going to be worth it. But if you're elite at one, you can play the other. Now, Hunter is not eligible to go into the NFL draft until 2025. Meanwhile, his son, though, Shedeur, is eligible with this draft class of Caleb Williams, Drake May, and there were probably 6 or 7 other quarterbacks in week 1 that looked amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot left to be seen about Shedeur Sanders. It's a long season. He didn't look, I don't know how tall he is. He's not like Drake May in North Carolina, who's clear, easy 6'4", looks like he's 6'5". I do worry Shedeur might be a little small.
6'2".
Okay,
so I just saw Bryce Young get drafted number 1 overall.
No, but I'm saying he's listed 6'2". He's obviously not like a gigantic kid. So that's good. I mean, I'm now debating will he go 4 or 9. By the way, right. I'm not like saying he's not a first.
Height matters anymore. Do we put that to bed?
Well, I would not. Anthony Richardson. If Anthony Richardson was 5'11", would he have gone number 4 in this year's draft?
Probably not.
Okay. Anyway, Shedeur Sanders is going high, but again, can they keep this up? They couldn't stop the run at all, and they couldn't run the ball. So I think that teams are going to try and sort of pin them into what they don't do well.
Sure.
TCU had no idea.
Now Matt Rule, when Colorado plays Nebraska this weekend, he's going to have a little bit more to go on. But Nebraska's coming off of this last-second loss to Minnesota that was a heartbreaker.
Nebraska should not call pass play the entire game. That is clear. That's the other thing. Talking about a team that's just as new and different, like Nebraska has no idea what they're doing either. So I don't think that they're going to play. There's like, what's the spread, Maggie? What's the latest spread?
I believe it was Colorado -3.
Okay, can we pool all 4 of our money together and bet on Colorado in this one?
I'm happy to because I'm a believer. You, on the other hand, I don't think you would put yourself staunchly in that category yet.
No, although I live bet that entire game on Colorado. 3 plays in, you could see TCU had no interest in tackling anybody. And then I kept live betting the over, and it went up. By the end, it went up to 91.4 was the over to live bet, and I lost because nobody could tackle anybody. What was going on there? I don't think it's going to be like that. I think Shedeur Sanders is going to have a Heisman-like season. I think Hunter will have a Heisman-like season, but they have to come back to earth. So that means, yes, I'm not a believer. I think they come back to earth. I'm going to say it.
All right. Well, speaking of believers, and this is what really kicked this off, this was Deion Sanders after the win against TCU had a bit of a back and forth with ESPN's Ed Werder.
What's up, boss? You believe that?
Of all the
hold on. Oh, no. Do you believe that? Huh?
Who said I didn't believe before?
No. I read through that bull junk you wrote down. I read through that. I sifted through all
What did I write?
Yeah.
What did I write?
Oh, no.
Can I ask my question?
Do you believe?
In what?
You don't believe.
I believe.
You just answered it. You don't believe. Next question.
This is all just one big show, and we're all here front row for the show. Because this is not about like journalism anymore. Of course, people who cover teams don't root for teams. We all know that. If you have half a brain, you know it. It doesn't matter. This is about the show, and I'm happy to have a front row seat for the show.
All right.
We all do.
I don't know. I'm already over it.
You can't be over it. It just started. It's impossible to be over it. Nothing's happened yet. We got one amazing win for Colorado. They were 20-point underdogs. That's it. That's all that's happened.
No, I'm buying it. Perloff, the second we mentioned Deion, the second he walked in the door, he just rolled his eyes and went, he is over it. He's done with Deion.
By the way, you said
the best weekend we've ever seen.
Maggie, you just said it's one game. You had opened this segment by saying the Colorado football has arrived.
I know. Well, I was a believer before.
Do you believe that?
I was a believer before because I couldn't understand how people wrote off Colorado so dismissively.
Because they had all new players.
I know. And
they got there, and they didn't even get there in January. They got there in the spring. They were talking about it during the game. Those guys, I don't even know how they learned all the plays and everything so fast. They looked like a poised veteran team. And TCU, on the other hand, looked like, we don't even have to try to win this game. And they learned out pretty quickly.
We want to hear from you at 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Of course, want to say a hello to the Weedos, the Purple Drinkers. Had a fun time on Friday and Monday, so thank you guys for keeping it going. Brian is in the chat. Sanders, meaning Shador, deserves some Heisman votes if he keeps that pace. Yes, throwing for 510 yards and 4 touchdowns. But I think Travis Hunter really would be... Listen, Shador looks great and deserves Heisman votes. Perloff, you said it. But Hunter is the real spectacular thing here, right? Watching something that we haven't seen in such a long time.
Absolutely. Although I'm trying to do the math. I'm pulling out my calculator. 510 times 12 games. That would put him on pace for, I don't know, a 9,000-yard college football season. If he keeps this up, then he might win the Heisman.
Then he might.
Wouldn't it be great if there were 2 finalists from Colorado? I think it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, they might, sort of cannibalize each other, but you're right. Jeffrey Howells in the chat said that peanut butter lasted longer in Perloff than Colorado fandom. It's probably true.
You did not want to be there that night. No, I'm still a fan, but I don't get why you don't understand where I'm coming from. When everybody jumps onto a bandwagon, then it becomes annoying. By definition.
You are the number one bandwagon jumper in the world.
Then I get off once everyone else joins it. I don't want to...
Perloff's bandwagon rules. You could write a book about it.
Yes, I mean, listen, have I changed my college football allegiances over the last 5 days? Am I off that Clemson bandwagon? Oh, yeah.
What gave you the first clue?
You know I love me some Duke football. Daniel Jones. What's that guy who was on the Giants for years? No, Dave Brown.
Brown, sorry. You're
thinking of the backup for the Bengals.
I was.
His name Browning. Oh, yeah, love me some Duke football. I don't know what you're talking about, bandwagon jumping.
Yeah, sure. You invented it.